Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Lyric Explorer, where I get to invite my favorite artists and watch them unpeel all the little secrets and all the little layers between the foreground, midground, and background of their paintings. And today, with us, we have Andrea. She was one of my first students when I started mentoring, maybe like 5 years ago, and she has this really amazing vertical painting that she designed in order to do like a camera movement, and it has a couple of characters. And I just literally just recorded the episode with her. She really goes in depth. We're gonna There's gonna be a lot of like zooming in and look at the textures, at the little grass details or the little moss details in the trees. It's a more kind of suspenseful horror kind of painting. It's a Pokemon fan art as well. And yeah, okay, let's get to it. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lyric Explorer. Today with me, I have Andrea. She was one of my first students, actually, when I started mentoring. And so far, I've been following her progress. We still talk a lot. We've met in Annecy a couple of times already, and I see that she's doing a lot of other courses, and she's still trying to improve her technique. And this painting was one of the ones that I think she started with me, but then she took her own time and she pushed herself on her own timing to render. So we're gonna be looking at this. I think you made it so we could create like a camera movement of it. That's why it's so vertical, and the way you organize the layers is gonna reflect that as well. But Andrea, do you wanna present yourself?
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm the OG mentee, which honestly quite exciting.
The OG
I'm a
mentee.
yes. I mean, it has to be have to be number one for something, I guess.
Yeah, I think you might be. My first mentees were like one session only people. That was just like a chat, like a quick chat. And I think with you was the first time that like I actually had like a for a while we were like working together.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a really bad place when I reached out, and the weekly courses helped get me like out of there, even though I didn't always have work to show, and I'd be like the night before just trying to grind. Oh no, I have my course with Pedro tomorrow.
It does help. It does. I have a few students that are like, I have this mentorship just so I can have someone hold me accountable for like bringing in work, or bringing in like the next draft.
Oh no, definitely. I get the accountability part. I do the same because when you have someone breathing over your shoulder, the guilt helps you like get over the finish line. Doesn't
The
sound
gift.
yes, but it works.
Fair, 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 fair. What are you doing at the moment? Is this something you can like reveal or?
Oh yeah, so I'm a background and layout artist. I started as a layout artist, but somehow morphed into a two-in-one situation with Paperall on Pablo Next Level because the name's changed, so I need to remember to say the new name. So that's been quite exciting. I've been working with them since February, I think, and
Nice.
hopefully they'll be there for a while longer.
And what's the context of this painting?
Oh, it started as a random sketch in one of my sketchbooks in my fan art era of doing Pokemon. I'm saying that as if that's ever ended. Um,
It's true.
and then I actually brought this to our mentorship, and I was like, okay, I need you to help me push this because the original version was very flat, wasn't very interesting to look at. I knew it had potential, but I needed someone to kind of take a second look. And then we got a sketch done together, and that's how this started. The whole camera move situation, huge file.
That's true. How big is the file? Do you know the pixel
No,
ratio?
I can say I don't remember now. It's 5,000 by 6,000 pixels.
Oh my
But
God.
I do paint them at 300 DPI.
Wow. Okay, should we get to the painting?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, here we have the blank screen where it all started. We're just looking through all the steps, and I was trying to remember which sketch was the one that I remember that we worked together on. And I think that first square one is the one I remember.
This is what it used to
Oh
look
my
like.
God, I remember that.
Yeah, I came to one of our sessions with this and I was like, help. I'm stuck in this idea. I keep rendering and deleting and rendering because then I used to work more in black and white, as in I used to render everything in black and white to like a 60% finish, then add color and then finish it in color, but that's changed a bit since.
I think we spoke about the composition part in this one, right? I can't, because it's a big change. I remember sketching over the other composition, but I also remember this one very well.
Yeah, he gave you some ideas. You said we should push it into more of a director kind of way.
Yeah, more like cinematic.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
words are not here with me today, but that's okay.
It is quite early in the morning. But so there was like a square composition that I saw before.
Yes.
That one I remember too.
This is the base of my new painting that was done not here. Initially it was on my iPad while I was sketching, going places with it. This was the great original composition of like a fish eyes kind of perspective with the characters at the bottom and the mismatches surrounding them. Because from the beginning I wanted a very menacing atmosphere. I wanted there to be like a threat, not necessarily just like a happy-go-lucky painting. I wanted to have a little story behind it. And the previous one just fell flat from all points of view.
Very amazing improvement already, like in composition and depth and everything. It's so nice. And what's after?
After I just started sketching on top of it, I did have some grids, but I don't think I have them anymore because they were part of the Procreate's own grids. They can create and you can't export with them as a separate layer. But I just started building on it. Started building, gave up on this idea apparently. I'm pretty sure this is the original sketch because what I normally do is have sort of a gray backdrop. It's a bit darker than I normally have it. But I start with the sketch and then I start adding different gray gradients to kind of figure out what I'm doing. I don't always know where I'm going. I'm just kind of winging it, which I think will be the main part of my process, is just winging it.
I relate to that.
I think I actually remember because this is actually skewed because I drew it and then I realized that I actually straightened it without realizing, which I think a lot of us do.
Oh, I see. You were like compensating for the perspective by making it unskewed. Kind of
thing. Exactly. I was like, I can do a cheat here a little bit and just...
Interesting, yeah. But this is already quite rendered for like the volumes on the trees. It's so nice.
This is what I always found interesting in our mentorship, to be honest, because I feel like we have very different definitions of what very rendered or like a prepared sketch is. Because for me, I feel like I need to see a lot of the lines a bit cleaner to be able to understand what's going on.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And I think I just started playing with different things that I've added later because it needs to look populated. The forest floor, it can't just be empty. Even though I had a plan to make everything work with color, so that would be the point of interest. I still wanted it to be a bit more interesting. It seems like these are a lot of empty layers, I think. Yeah. Because who doesn't love just hoarding empty layers? Then I added a character, which actually was the hardest thing to sort out later down the line because I left it quite late.
God,
and this was the base of everything.
Nice.
I also extended the canvas in Photoshop. That's why it's missing this bit here at the top.
So it's like later on you extended it to push the composition.
No, it's extended now because initially the painting ended here.
Okay.
I just extended a tiny bit up.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I felt like... Because initially I planned it as a camera move from here. Oh, very, very good mouse drawing for me. And it would end here.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a bit more space. That's not sorted yet, so I don't actually know if it'll work, but we pretend that it's working great.
It will work. We believe. I'm so excited to see the comp for this.
Me too. After that, I did a color thumbnail. Actually, I did a couple color thumbnails, but I only have the one I ended up going with. I don't exactly know how it's looking on other screens, because my biggest pet peeve in art is my tablet screen looking different than my laptop screen.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I would always have to bring up the saturation when I would.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how this one works on other screens yet, but I'm hoping this won't be too dark overall. But if it is too dark, think of it as a tiny bit lighter, a tiny bit more contrast, and a tiny bit more saturated.
Not taken. Okay. Maybe I should adjust like for this part. But I think the tones are super nice anyway. Like, even if it's missing a bit of saturation, we can definitely see the color. It's very clear. So when you do thumbnails, when you do these kind of like color scripts, do you already do them considering light, or you do them, because this one is it's like the shadow is very clear where the source of light is. Is this something they usually do, or specifically for this one?
No, I usually like to take light into account, because I like that back and forth in my own head of, okay, we've kind of set up our lighting scenario. So I decide, okay, this is the main light. These colors are going to go with this light. And then throughout the painting, it's like a back and forth with, okay, this is the color of the tree, but the light's hitting it this way. So what color will it be? And then, that kind of rhymed. And then the shadows, I know I set them a certain color, but how does that color affect my local color? And it's like a back and forth of trying to make everything work rather than an adjustment layer on top, even though I do have plenty of adjustment layers on top too.
So what came after this? To like draw on top of this, or you go for a different?
Yes. So what I did is, because normally in my personal work, I don't bother so much with layers, which I think it's the ultimate sin in art.
Ultimate sin.
But because I knew I would comb this one, what I did is, from this backdrop, the color thumb that I just merged with the sketch underneath as well, I started cropping elements and then drawing them individually. The layers, as we'll have them like turn on one by one, won't actually be in the original order I painted it. So I don't actually know how this is gonna come together, because I'm pretty sure I started with the main tree here, this one, and then the next one, and then the bits around. But obviously, this is gonna start ground elements and.
I see. Okay. So the way you're going to be turning on the layers does not reflect chronologically how you actually approach the painting.
No, not at all. I usually went from like one layer to the other and back to that one and back to that one. I don't really finish an element and then go to the next one, because then it just doesn't look coherent. You want the rendering to kind of move at the same time.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same. Okay, so you literally painted on top of the color script.
Yes, I cut bits out of it. Like, I don't know, I selected the tree, copy paste, kept in the same place, but I wanted to have the backdrop. So I wanted what I was working on to kind of always feed into the original colors. And I really liked the background atmosphere that it gave. So I wouldn't just be working on a tree on a white backdrop and then the colors would look very different compared to.
Right. Okay.
The original, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Again, this is very different to how I normally work, but because it was layered, like normally I think I would have just started painting on top and then separated the characters and some foreground elements. But because I knew that there would be some parallax, but I wasn't entirely sure where I wanted it, I separated quite a lot of the elements.
We'll see when you get to comp if that was the right decision or not.
If it ever gets, no, I will get into comp.
Nah, you got this.
Oh, so I did cover the original sketch in the end. This is quite a late layer of taking that backdrop color and bringing it in as the atmosphere and then cover up the trees. And I just kind of built on that.
Nice.
Oh, and just took the trees that are later painted to bring some depth into the tree line. So these 4 layers actually came in towards the end, so almost at the end of the painting.
Okay.
That's why it's looking so odd at the moment. So yeah, so I don't mind painting on the same layer for an element, but it's when I need to make a decision I'm not sure about, I make a new one, and then if I like it, I'll merge it, and if I don't, you just go back to your previous option.
Yeah,
that's why
that
I have
sense.
multiple versions of the same painting saved, just in case. I don't remember ever going back, but it's just mentally it's good to have it.
Yeah.
Oh, and these, see, color coding. These are the background trees that I started adding. Again, this is also towards the end. Most of the background elements are done towards the end.
I also have other paintings there, like the first layer that they turn on is like a little cloud detail, but it's just like a little gradient in the corner of the sky. And they're like, yeah, I did not start the painting like this. This is like at the very end. There was like an empty space in between 2 buildings, and they just added like a little cloud. So it's a classic in this in Lyra Explorer.
To be honest, it's quite funny because thinking about it, I actually started the painting the other way around. So if you will, mine is the characters from foreground to background, but now I'm turning them on background to foreground.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So basically, I build a bit of the tree line to have that depth, and the further they were, the less detailed they were. Because
nice.
No point in detailing something that no one's gonna see, or you don't want it to take away from the painting either. They're just there for atmosphere. So just more. This is like still a background. I know it sort of looks like middle ground now, but this is still a background sort of tree that was added quite late. It's not part of the original sketch, but it just framed the painting better. I
can already see some rendering, some suggestion of light and some details on, like, it looks like the veins on the tree. How long would you say that a detail like that took you to do?
It's hard to say because this was quite quick in terms of rendering. What took me the longest when I designed the trees was actually the shape of the tree.
I see.
Like the way, because trees don't really look like this in real life. It's usually like the branches usually keep going, so they create a nice crown.
Yeah.
But I wanted these stylized trees that I'm sure I didn't design them for the first time, but that I designed for the painting. And I would design something, but then I would add another tree and, there's tangents between them, or they just don't flow nicely. So that took the longest. But the rendering, by the time I did this one, it wasn't so bad.
Okay. Does this tree also have like a lot of different layers in it, or you kind of just painted it straight on?
I think these ones... So for example, this one, I just paint them a bit darker and then lighten them up with the atmosphere. And this one, I might have either merged it or painted it straight away because I think this was one of the last trees I did.
Okay.
So I did it with the same colors almost of the foreground trees, and then I pushed it back as much as I could and added the moss detail.
Okay.
I actually had a moment because none of the moss that's going to be shown later was there initially or in my initial plan. It was sort of a happy accident from the colors. And then I watched this video on YouTube that talks about the difference between the Ghibli grass and just nature versus, for example, they were talking about the Tangled one in a Disney film, like what makes one full of life and what makes one just like, okay, it's grass in the forest. So that made me go, okay, I want to make this forest seem like it's lived in and there's loads of plants and loads of like different critters and stuff. So I hope that worked. More ground. I started like thinking of where the light comes from.
Yeah.
Because obviously the main character has a little lamp. So cluster of trees, painted a bit rougher than the rest, just because they're on the side. I just needed them to kind of frame my painting. So that's why tree left background just slapped there. And then this is more of it's still background, but we're approaching like a middle ground kind of situation.
Yeah. And I can kind of see that the way you are layering these trees was after you drew those two main trees. So they are kind of filling up the space, the empty spaces between the main trees, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the main trees were painted first, and then it was just like a game of Tetris of trying to make everything else work.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Again, most details. I don't know if these are like that closely rendered. But yeah, I already started like making little details, and rather than just adding that, it's not green, but it looks like green. This was the middle cluster of trees, with some ground as well, because I had the ground like woven in between the trees.
Yeah.
So I can kind of place them in space. Because I didn't fully have space initially. Because again, this was half planned, half winging it as I go. Which keeps it fun, so it's not too sterile when painting. So that's fun.
Because you kind of discover your painting yourself as you go for it, and once the main elements are in place, then these things are just kind of serving those main elements, which is those big trees and the character at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, this painting made me realize that, as corny as it sounds, it's really not about a destination. Because I finished it and I looked at it and I went, okay, cool. It's really about like having fun while painting it and getting frustrated and getting out of it and getting back to painting it. So it's like the back and forth with yourself, but then you finish it and you just kind of feel empty inside.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then these 3 layers are actually some grass and some plants in between the 2 main trees. So it goes the like more foreground kind of like grass, then the plant.
Wow, okay.
For this. No one needs to know how many pixels I saw while painting all of this. I tried to kind of take a step back and not zoom in too much. And some little grass in the front.
Very nice. Very nice.
But yeah, technically I tried to kind of keep a consistent, okay, there's a pinkish sort of light from the background that I kept on the edges, and this sort of bluish light from the top, and then the shadow had a different kind of blue, purple-ish light. So I tried to keep that consistent. So even though if you were to color pick from the tree or from the plants, there will be a different color, but it's the same kind of color effect on different local colors, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This tree, I think, it's one of the main trees.
Oh, okay.
I don't fully have... Actually, can I jump on a different file to see if I have it?
Yes, of course.
Maybe. Oh, okay. This is looking promising.
Nice.
As you can see, this is definitely how I normally work compared to what I'm showing you.
So you create different files for rendering different things. Is because of the size?
It's not rendering different things. Is when I make a bigger change and I want to have an older version, I just save that.
Okay.
Even though it doesn't seem like the older version I chose is. I actually have old versions of stuff as well. I just need to find because usually the old version. So what I do is I render, new layer. Yep. I make a copy of that folder. I merge that folder, and the old one I just name old and keep it there. But obviously, because we deleted everything in our original file, so that it's easier to turn them on, I didn't keep any of the old files.
Wow. I stick with one file all along. That is... Wow.
I think this is originally what it used to look like.
So cool.
Oh, it has an old version here.
Okay.
So this is what it used to look like. I can turn everything else off as well, so it doesn't
So
spoil.
nice. It's like already looks quite rendered, to be honest. Even on the
See, this is where we have very different opinions. Again, a lot of different versions. But I rendered it a bit, but it's mostly the sketch. Because I also took the sketch because I like to keep the lines in. Because even though I paint over them, sometimes they just kind of pop in just the right way.
Yeah, I get you.
Dave Greco, which is one of my favorite artists, does this. He has line art and paints over it. And even though he covers it, sometimes he just like peeks super nicely from more important places in the painting. And then this is just me rendering. I'll just move it to the side if I don't break Photoshop by doing it. So sometimes this is all I do, like this whole thing on a layer. And then I just
tiny highlights.
Move on. So I start defining the volumes.
Yeah.
Kind of figure out how, because obviously it needs to still make sense the way the branches kind of weave into each other.
Yeah.
And then
so these are all in normal mode, right? They are not like in a blending mode. These ones.
All normal.
Wow, legendary.
Oh, thank you. What I do is sometimes I do kind of like the big picture, which was the sketch, and then I render it a bit more than I would normally would, and then with another brush I come over and kind of smooth some area so that we're looking at bigger shapes rather than like tiny lines. But yeah, this is just, I wasn't happy with how this looked, so I went over it and started changing the shape, kind of bringing it more together, and then rendering that. I had this kind of really bright blue highlight for the light that was coming from the night sky that would just kind of dissipate as it went down and changed into barely visible pale color. But yeah, this is just me patching the tree. And then what is this? Oh no, okay. So this might have been something that I thought, oh, maybe I'm not happy with this. But I scrapped. So this is what it ended up looking like. And then what I did, this whole file, I copied it and merged it, and now we have another base to work from.
Okay, nice.
And now from this base, where I start making other changes, like render more, especially here, you can see I started getting like really up close and personal with it.
Wow.
And finding the moss areas, the darks, the lights, but still making it readable. I always checked the black and white version of it to see that my values were somewhat alright.
It almost looks like those like older painterly Disney backgrounds with those like huge like painterly trees, like Sleeping Beauty, but like less graphic, but like Sleeping Beauty I guess is like rectangular shapes. This one is like a little bit more organic, but the detail, so nice.
The most was a happy accident just from the color script. It's not actually yellow or green. I can't really remember what color it actually was, but we do love some color theory. And that color kind of made me think I could kind of push it, which I think I did a bit later. Then I think I was just playing around with adding branches, because again, the final picture needed to work with all the trees.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this was scrapped, and this was the new version. So again, another old folder. Oh, and this is the one layer actually named. It's called Details. I can get rid of it here. Like the little moss details. It just makes it pop. It makes it feel like it's a real tree, the real forest.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I know probably no one zooms in as much as I do in these things, but it's just, I thought it looked really pretty, and it was really fun to draw. I mostly did a couple of actual plant-looking shapes, and then it's just like cross-hatching on the tree following the volume.
Yeah. so nice. It just finishes it so well.
Yeah, and I did it on both sides. Basically, I tried to keep. Oh, that's not. Yeah, so it's here as well, like little
Wow.
things.
Wow.
I try to keep the details in this area. So technically, as you move away from this area, the details should get lost a little bit in all the other trees, whether it's no matter what it's on, like background, foreground, whatever. So this should be like the epicenter of the
Nice.
image.
Closer to the focal point.
Yeah, I'll go back to the finished tree because I couldn't remember what they're. So this is where we left it off, and just more details. And then I softened the top a little bit with the light from the sky because I felt like it was a bit too harsh. Again, we want to lose detail, not gain detail. And all the other trees got kind of the exact same treatment, starting from the sketch and then just adding on rendering back and forth, looking at what colors, what light, how does it get influenced. There's a bit of FX light in between the trees, which was an idea that was given to me by a friend. She's a really good artist. Her name's Rafa. She's amazing. Shout out to her. Same thing.
So cool. We're getting now to the big dogs, to the big trees.
Yeah, the big trees. The trees are clustered together with plants and other things.
Yeah.
I was trying to cluster everything together so that it's easier for me to see them later. Again, this is a more rendered tree, same process as the one on the right. Just I'll give a shout out to me getting nitpicky with the rendering.
Wow.
Because, I mean, if you look about it, you're just like brush strokes mostly for the tree bark, but you just make them kind of take a nice shape. For example, this shape, and this is more of a inverted V. Just kind of follow the shape that you want, but make it interesting. That's what I aim to do usually.
Super cool. Yeah. That's super nice. It's such a nice gradient of like the way they become slightly green as they come down. They go from like blue, purple, and then green. So nice.
And then the ground painted way later as well. It just fills the sides a little bit. Because I needed to kind of have I had ground plates, the tree, and then ground plates on top.
Yeah.
So that the tree would kind of seamlessly go into the ground. Oh, I will zoom in though on this rock because I was really proud of how it turned out. To be honest, all the rocks in this painting, I'm really proud. I looked at Ghibli film rocks. Obviously, I'm not saying they're on the same level, but they were a great reference. Plus, just so many references. Like, I don't have them all saved because they're all over the place, but this painting had so many references to back it up.
Amazing. Yeah, that's really nice. I love how you have like a personal story for every little detail. Like, okay, this detail was related to that. This detail was related to that.
Yeah, well, because I would get stuck and I didn't know what I wanted to do next. And I thought, okay, step back, reference, figure things out. Oh, tap this big plant here that just appeared.
Nice.
And again, details on top, rendering, adding more details. Just because they need to be in between the tree roots.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the After Effects like layer with all those like hundreds of layers, all the little plants. It's gonna be a really like rewarding camera movement when you do it.
I hope so. I'm a bit scared, but I need to kind of do it already. But I added some more like atmospheric kind of not perspective, but I just wanted to push stuff back. Then more rocks with details. I will give a shout out to this rock as well. It's just I was really proud. I know this sounds silly in a painting this big, but I was really proud of how the rocks turned out. And I just try to add plants everywhere to kind of, you have an element, you have some nature, because obviously there's no distinctive grass on the forest floor, but I wanted to kind of infer that that's the case. But obviously it's a stylized painting, so I don't actually want to spend time painting the grass. More rocks. And so everything has most details on that's close to the center, and they're really fun to do. So now you can see how I actually started the painting. It's with this tree and this tree. Oh yeah, I added more rocks, more plants in the foreground to kind of keep it lively. It's that rock over here.
Nice.
And
Can
another
you
one.
bring it up a little bit just so I can see the rocks? Yeah, okay.
So they're just here. It's just a little cluster of stuff there.
Yeah, nice.
And then more leaves to the side to kind of frame everything, like bring it together. Like if you look at the final paintings, all the lines lead to like a nice center. So the background doesn't let you leave. So if you just look at it, your eye is just going to kind of keep bouncing around and stay in. I didn't want to give it any chance to kind of look away. Of the tree on the side here.
Yeah.
It goes into the more of a middle ground kind of background. I try to push it and comes in the foreground here. And then I had another foreground tree on the other side here. But again, it's just this part of the tree that you can see. There's no framing on the bottom part because you already have all these elements and you'll be way too crowded. Okay, next is the character, but the character came last. So just so you know that it's being here, it's not how I worked on it.
Very nice. Wow, you actually detailed it quite a lot. I think I've only seen like the bigger paintings, so I didn't see how detailed like this character was.
It's actually, so the painting is a mix between Pokemon Arceus.
Yeah.
And I will fight anyone who calls it Arceus because I refuse to believe that's how you say it.
I say that.
And the newer Pokemon games, just because of a character that I really, really love, that I just added, and I was like, okay, lore aside, we'll just run with it.
Nice.
With the character, I'm pretty sure I have a million layers for her because her color was more natural light inspired, and then this is the time where I did put multiply layer on to kind of make it fit into the environment.
Yeah.
And
so much detail as well.
It looks cursed because for the first time ever I separated my character into layers.
It looks cursed. That's funny.
I mean, it does.
It's almost like a puppet.
Yeah, it is because I don't know if you've seen those kinds of paintings where the character is rigged to move a little bit. Like, it's not animated, but it is rigged.
Oh, like the League of Legends, like intro screen.
That's why I wanted out of this to have a little bit of movement in it. That's why I separated everything.
Nice. That's a very good shot.
And this is a really funny side note, but I couldn't figure out a pose for the character because obviously my sketch was very, very rough.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up taking like 20 pictures of myself with a pair of headphones, like trying to replicate the movement of going, like stepping forward with a lamp.
Uh-huh.
So somewhere in the archives, there's like pictures of me trying to figure this out. And I think they look funny.
So we're not going to be seeing these layers here, these reference layers.
No, because I had to delete everything.
Fair.
And then there's the two Pokemon that are accompanying the main character.
Nice.
This is a Pokemon that's technically from a prehistoric past, Flutter Mane. That's why it's not lore accurate with Arceus, but I don't care because I love the design.
Very nice.
Oh, and then there's the Miss Maguses that look best. Like this. These were also quite hard to figure out because
I love like the line of that thing that is going like that, pointing down, like near the character. That's so cool.
It's supposed to kind of frame them menacingly.
Yeah.
all the lines from all the mismatches end up framing them.
Oh, so cool. Like, it's like a tentacle kind of hugging them like that.
Because
So nice.
Mismatches has those little tendrils. I don't exactly know. I had to break the anatomy a little bit of the Pokemon to make it work, but
It's fine, yeah.
it's fine.
What really is the anatomy of a Pokemon, at the end of the day,
exactly.
make it dramatic. Oh, you also divided them well for After Effects.
Yeah, this was the part I didn't think. I love rendering, but breaking them apart, not a fan.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, I have this part first, and then
So you do most of this in normal mode. Normal
yeah.
mode. Crazy.
So all of this is painted in normal mode.
Wow.
I sometimes adjust opacity.
Okay.
And then kept adding the details, kept changing the details. And then the only thing is, this was OG color mismatches. Changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I felt like it looked off in the painting. Sometimes I can't necessarily put my finger on what is off, but I could tell that it wasn't framing the main characters and it wasn't just being integrated as much as I would have liked to, so I did slap also a normal layer over it with very low opacity.
Wow.
Because the whole point was that even though you want them to kind of pop out a little bit, because obviously they're separate characters, you don't want them to blend with the environment. You want to give the effect that they are blending with the environment.
Yeah. That's very tricky.
And
they are hiding to the character, but they are not necessarily hiding to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I added, again, I painted these mismatches and I realized I want to send the ones back. I want to send them back because obviously you have the foreground ones. And I wanted these to kind of be pushed to the background. Got a little puddle of blood there. That was kind of the main interest because obviously they were walking in the forest and they stumbled across this. Because if you look in the lore of this Pokemon, it can be quite vengeful. And a lot of people in the past, they said that it would actually trap mismatches to kind of get stuff out of it. Like, I think it was for love reasons as well.
Wow,
so in
okay.
my story, they were just kind of looking for a missing person that tried to trap a mismatches. And obviously this scene happens.
I love how like the lore of Pokemon is so much more violent than the actual look of the Pokemons or like what you expect from the games. Like that, the story of Spoink, I think, is like if he stops jumping, he will die.
To be honest, some of the Pokemon lore is kind of cursed. Like Driftblim, I think the little balloon-looking one, is so cute because it's trying to attract children and steal them away, like fly away with them.
Oh my god, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's like the number one reason for child disappearances. It's really dark sometimes.
Yeah.
You read the lore, you're like, what?
Yeah.
In the light layer, because obviously she has a little lantern. There's some adjustment layers here because this was just easier. Because I wanted the light, because obviously this kind of light would hit a little bit of like the ground in some places, but I wanted to keep it stylized to the point where it's just this.
Yeah.
Because I felt like everything else was enough to kind of make it work.
Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, I think these are all the million of layers.
Eba, we got to the end.
I do have 3 layers here, but one of them is a black and white layer.
For testing.
Yeah, the other one, I tried to see if it would look good a bit more pinkish, purplish, but I don't like it. And the other one is a saturation layer for how it should look on people's computers. So
that's so funny. You already compensate for that with the
it's just so awkward when I bring it back and it burns my eyes on the tablet being super saturated, but it's not on my phone, for example. It's just like a constant battle. Also, I will make a note with the black and white. This is what I use, but if I were to repaint it this time, I would use the where was it? proof setup. The custom and the most accurate way that's been tested to check black and white is actually dot grain 20.
What is that?
So if you go to view, where you can change your color system as well, and you go to proof setup and custom, the most accurate black and white version of your painting will be on dot grain 20.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, wow.
Yeah. That's why if you can see, this black and white version looks very different to this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. Wow.
This is the tip I stole from Angela Sung during one of her little workshops.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. So yeah, this is the final painting. How do you feel about it when it was done versus how you started it?
When it was done initially, I wasn't very happy, I'll be honest. Sometimes I need a bit of time to kind of look away from it, because this took around a year's worth of work just because I was either tired or working. And I like to get really detailed when I draw, so I didn't want to rush it just for the sake of finishing it.
Yeah.
So after I was done, I wasn't happy with it. I was like, oh, what did I spend all this time on? But now I'm actually really proud of how it turned out. Like, I look at it, it makes me happy. I'm like, oh, I did that. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it again, but I did that.
You've done it once. I'm sure you can do it again. You should be very proud of yourself for that. It looks amazing. And just going through the layers, I'm like, the fact that you did almost everything in normal blending mode, I'm like, I would die. Like, I don't know how, like, I feel like I should myself do some practice of like not being so blending mode dependent, because I would have just multiply or overlay the shit out of this painting if I was doing it myself.
It's just not the same effect, because I had a certain color for the shadows, a certain color for the light, and I took it as a practice to try to figure out myself what those combinations would result in.
Okay. I don't know why I became...
But it's fun. Whenever it gets complicated, I just take a step back and start talking to myself like a crazy person. Like, I would always recommend it when you're painting. If you don't know what you're doing, it's just, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, why do you want to put this color here? Oh, well, it's because of X, Y, and Z. And it just helps. At least for me. If not...
So you say that out loud?
Not out loud. Maybe sometimes if I'm really, really stuck, I just kind of go, okay, why am I doing this? But mostly it's in my head. And, like in films or TV shows, when people start mumbling to themselves, I feel like I become that sometimes when I'm alone for too many hours.
Like the anime exposition part where they're talking about what they're thinking about their strategy. Like, I will add this shadow here to make this effect, and then like make this painting super intense, and then I can see some fisheye shots of you drawing like really intensely. I get that.
Yeah, and then you get hyper focused for an hour, and then you waste another 2. It's a process.
Yeah, I feel you. I like when you end, like when you get in the zone and then 2 hours go past, or like 1 hour goes past, and then like you get out of the zone and you're like, wow, I just did that. Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Let me digress for like double the amount of hours I just painted.
Mm-hmm. But it's nice. And it is just fun to kind of get something from an idea or a sketch in the corner of a sketchbook and bring it to something more refined.
Definitely. But yeah, Andreea, thank you so much for being so open to do this. There was a few changes, and you were always super like flexible to like to do this. So thank you very much for that. And tell us what's going on in your life. Give us all the contacts. How can people find you? What's in your future goals to do? Tell us everything.
My main goal at the moment is to try to weasel my way into a more Viz Dev centered position, or any kind of 2D design, anything. And apart from like career goals, I just want to be happy doing art again fully, because I feel like this is a very known feeling where you just kind of get a bit burned out of a thing you love, but you don't want to give it up. So you just kind of want to enjoy it without any pressure.
Yeah.
As soapy as that sounds. And I have my Instagram, which is x.kmeep, which is KMEEP, which no one can make sense
We'll
of,
put
but
all
that's
the
what
details here as you say that.
Yeah, and my website, which is just kmeep.com. And I think that's all. I have a Kara, which is also at kmeep, but I always forget to post there. And also, you can follow me on LinkedIn because that's where all the cool kids are.
All the
it's
cool
just
kids are on
Andreea
LinkedIn.
Knopf.
Yes. Those jokes. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.